I'm Kaylee, and these are the classics that I'm planning to read in 2025. Every year, one of my goals is to read at least 12 classics, at least one every month, and I always surpass that goal because I really love classics. So I'm sure that I'll probably end up reading more classics than just the ones that are on my TBR list. But today I want to talk about a few that I want to try to get to in 2025. Today's Booktuber Shoutout goes to Crystal Hurd. She has a new YouTube channel called That Lewis Lady. I first heard about Crystal Hurd when I read her book, The Leadership of C.S. Lewis, and I really loved it. So no wonder she has the nickname That Lewis Lady. I'll leave a link to her channel in the description. Be sure to go over and subscribe to her. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel and make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you love classics, and click on that bell so that you're notified every time I read a classic in 2025. And of course, follow me over on Goodreads and Instagram and all the places. I have several classics that I have included into my Wrapped Books Challenge. I actually have 14 books that are already in the Wrapped Books Challenge, so I have no idea when one of those is going to pop up randomly in the challenge. Two of those are Agatha Christie books. I have Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie and Hercule Poirot's Case Book. One of my goals for this year is to read some more from the Poirot series. So this will take care of two birds with one stone. I'll get some Poirot read, and that takes care of the Wrapped Books Challenge. I also have a book called The Good Soldier. I literally know nothing about this. I know nothing about the author. I'm afraid to read the synopsis on the back because you know how it is with classics. Sometimes the synopsis will include spoilers. So a lot of the time I go into classics completely blind. So I have no idea what this is about. I also have two books by Daphne Du Maurier, Rule Britannia and The House on the Strand. Both of those are also in the Wrapped Books Challenge. I've read 3 or 4 Du Maurier books before and really enjoyed them, so I'm excited to read more from this author. I also have several books from Temple Bailey: Little Girl Lost, Silver Slippers, Burning Beauty, and The Wild Wind. I'm actually in the middle of reading The Wild Wind right now, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Then I have 4 kind of random books from my antique books collection. I have Guyford of Weir, The Turquoise, Why Not, and The Flirt. I don't know a single thing about any of these except it looked like an old edition, and so I bought it. Most of these are like from the 1930s and 40s. I also have The Phantom of the Opera in my Wrapped Books Challenge, so we'll see when that one pops up randomly. I have one Sir Walter Scott that I want to read this year, The Heart of Midlothian. I just adore Sir Walter Scott, but I can't decide whether I want to read this one for the Feb Regency readathon or save it up for Jane Austen July. But at some point, Sir Walter Scott is going to get read. And last year for Victober, I read a George MacDonald book, Thomas Wingfold Curate. So now I want to read the second book in that series. There's an edition that calls it The Lady's Confession, but I don't think that's the original title. The original title, I think, is Paul Faber Surgeon. So Paul was a character in the first book, and he was just kind of a side character. So now the second book focuses more on him. So I'll probably save up that George MacDonald for Victober this year. I also want to get started with the Palliser series by Anthony Trollope, so I'm going to be reading Can You Forgive Her this year. So I might end up reading that in Victober as well. Or I might just read it some random time because I just love Anthony Trollope. I've actually already read a couple of other books that were not on my TBR that I had not planned for at all, but I just got excited and wanted to go back and reread some of my old favorites from when I was a teenager. So I went back and reread The Blue Castle by Ella Montgomery. Katie over at Books and Things included this book on her list of favorite books that she read this past year. And hearing her talk about how much she enjoyed it reminded me how much I love this book. And this is probably the 8th or 9th time that I've read it. And just hearing her talk about it just made me want to go back and reread it for the 10th time. And of course, I read it all in like 2 days and absolutely enjoyed revisiting that favorite classic. And then I was looking through my Grace Livingston Hill collection, again, from when I was a kid. And somehow, I don't know what has happened, but somehow over the years, I have misplaced or given away or something my copy of Patricia, which is probably one of my top 2 or top 3 favorites of all of the Grace Livingston Hill books that I've ever read. And I asked my mom and I asked some of my friends and I was like, do you have my copy of Patricia? And they were like, what? No. And I literally can't remember the last time that I saw it. It's probably been like 10 years since I even noticed that it was gone, you know? So I decided, well, that's it. I just have to order a new one. So when the new one came in the mail, I went, aw, Patricia. So I just had to reread it again. It's probably my 4th or 5th time rereading Patricia. Delightful. And like I said, I am in the middle of The Wild Wind. I believe that was published in 1930, but it's actually set right in the middle of World War I. So I've been enjoying that one a lot as well. And that is my TBR of possibilities for classics for 2025. Please leave me a comment and let me know what are some classics that you're planning on reading. And are you doing like I am, where some of them you're saving them up for specific readathons? Or are you just going to read your classics just whenever? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. And remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.